and welcome to McGuire Air Force Base in the 305th Maintenance Operations Squadron's retirement ceremony from Ms. Linda M. Pazauskas. Today, the Air Force honors Ms. Pazauskas for more than 32 years of distinguished federal civil service. I am Master Sergeant Dave Horswell, and I will be your narrator for today's event. The presiding officer for today's ceremony is Colonel Randall Harvey, Commander, 305th Maintenance Group. At this time, we request cellular phones and pagers be turned off or placed in the silent mode for the duration of the ceremony. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the national anthem and invocation by Chaplain Coles.
Let us pray. Father, we gather this moment, a fitting tribute to the Pazauskas family, who have given their lives in service to you and to their country. We pray you would accept this occasion as a joyful sacrifice of thanksgiving on behalf of their faithful service. May you continually hold them in the palm of your hand as new adventures unfold. May we all now sense a bountiful measure of your presence as we celebrate this ceremony together. Amen.
Please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, please join me in extending a warm welcome to Ms. Pazauskas' family. Linda's parents, retired Chief Petty Officer William Kinsley and wife Margaret. Linda's sisters, Laura Butler, Danielle Granatino and her husband Mike. Margaret and her husband Chris. Teresa and husband Joseph. Linda's daughters Noreen and Susan and all other family members. We welcome Commander, 305th Maintenance Group, Colonel Randall Harvey. Chief Enlisted Manager, 305th Maintenance Group, Chief Master Sergeant Richard Ugley. Commander, 305th Maintenance Operations Squadron, Major Eric Turnbull. First Sergeant, 305th Maintenance Operations Squadron, Master Sergeant Mike Hayward. And a warm welcome to all other distinguished guests and family and friends attending today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, today's presiding officer, Colonel Harvey.
Thank you very much.
Boy, what a day. Actually, Linda will be only the second civilian that I've had the honor of retiring during my 27 years of service. Ms. Charlene Degnan, right there, was the only other civilian. So this is a privilege. She only did that because she really didn't like the current administration. So, Linda, I do appreciate you awarding me this honor and privilege of getting up and talking for just a minute. Linda has a very interesting kind of past. And besides growing up, I guess Air Force type of military family. Chief, thank you for loaning us your daughter for so many years. So many years, by the way. I went to high school, Our Lady of Victory High School in was it Dobbs? Dobbs Ferry, New York. And what's interesting, oh, by the way, they're having their 60th, they formed up, and that school was established 60 years ago. And 2005, 2006 is their 60th kind of anniversary. So, are you going to make it back for that?
I didn't know that.
Interesting place. And where you went to school was not the original place where that school was founded. It originally was in it was in Terrytown, right there, versus
Yes,
Dobbs.
it was.
See what you learn when you do these kind of things. She graduated, now, 1968, so that kind of tells you, gives you a little hint about how old she is. A year later, joined the Air Force, 1969, joined the Air Force, and in 1969, well, hold up, back in 1968, I forgot, the #1 song was Hey Jude. And 1969, another interesting year. Besides Linda joining the Air Force, that was the year of Woodstock. And you know, a lot of people that age, they were like dope smoking kind of people. I was wondering, was your daughter one of those wild women? No. Okay. Anyways, joined the Air Force. 1969, went to Lackland for basic training, and then got out of there. And you say a scope dope. So were they the old real green scopes that you had to stare at?
It was the SAGE system, which was obsolete by the mid-70s.
The SAGE system.
Semi-automatic ground environment system.
But you spent what, about a little over a year, 2 years,
Yeah, almost 2 years.
in Duluth, Minnesota. Little known fact that she was the ice fishing queen of Lake Superior. Is that correct? Now that was nippy up there, wasn't it?
Oh, that wasn't.
I just can't handle the cold northern kind of country, so I've never been there. But boy, that looks like it would be cold. After that, came to us at McGuire, and has been here kind of ever since. Interesting background there too, because I think at that time, where we find the 105s.
Yeah, the F-105s were in the 108 when I first got here, yes, sir.
And then I think they picked up the F4 a little bit later, and then went 135s. But a lot of history there. So joining the 108, stayed with them until what was that 1974?
No, 89.
Did you just correct me in public? 1989. Ah, that's right. And that's when you joined the 514th.
Yes.
And so we picked you up from the Guard, and when she joined the 514th in 1989, that's when she took over and started ramrodding our analysis area. And my interaction with her began in, I guess it was 1989, when I came here as a deputy LG, and I would go back and vid with analysis quite a bit. 1999. Charlene, did you just break me?
Yeah.
But, I'm getting corrected left and right here today. Not a good thing. I used to go back and visit the analysis folks quite a bit and sit right next to Linda all the time because I had a lot of questions and always after information on various kind of things. Linda always provided me what I needed, either between herself or the fantastic analysis mafia, which I kind of fondly call everybody in there. Lo and behold, I come back here and they've moved the analysis shop from the building where I live to another place, so it's much more difficult for me to go visit them now. And I don't know if you think that's a good thing from your perspective or bad, but I like having you right there so I could visit with you and so forth. But let's see, if you count up your total years of service, so you from 1969 until now, let's see if I do my quick addition, that adds up to like almost 40 years of service. We're like 30, was it 37? 37.
I had a little break in service that I forgot to mention.
I knew there was a break. It was like from 71 or 74, right? And let's see, what did you do during that? You were in the banking business?
Bank teller, yeah.
So I know this
I
stuff.
know.
But you're talking about well over 30 years of service to our country, to this great nation, to our Air Force. And for that, we are all grateful and appreciative. So, and again, I thank you for letting me officiate this today. And so if you would just join me up here for a second, we'll move on to sort of the official portion of this. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the Certificate of Service. Certificate of Service from the United States Air Force. This is to recognize Linda M. Pazauskas for 32 years of faithful and devoted federal civilian service on the occasion of retirement from employment with the United States Air Force. Given this first day of April 2006, signed by Colonel Frederick H. Martin, Commander, 305th Air Mobility Wing. Please remain standing for the presentation of the Air Force Outstanding Civilian Service Award. To Linda M. Pazauskas, in honor of your retirement from federal civilian service and in recognition of your outstanding contributions to the United States Air Force. Over the years, you have served with distinction and devotion to duty that is in keeping with the proud tradition of our armed forces. Given this first day of April 2006, signed by Colonel Frederick H. Martin, Commander, 305th Air Mobility Wing.
Those have a license certificate.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, I'd like to invite forward center stage Linda's father, Mr. Bill Kinsley, who will present Linda with her official retirement pin. Mr. Kinsley. We also have presentations by squadron and group members. Representing the Programs and Mobility section, Tech Sergeant Corey Williams.
It's a pleasure to be up here. Jumping on what Colonel Harvey said, I'm the facility manager for the Colonel's building. when she left, she took her troops with her. And they were fine cleaners, and put them back because clothing needs a good scrubbing. But nobody's gonna miss her more than her own flight. But her absence is gonna be missed throughout the whole squadron and the group. And from our flight, we just want to give you a little token to say thank you and good luck. It's the first ever squadron or flight pin set has the squadron patch on the outside, and pins say from the men and women of the program's resources. So.
Representing plans, scheduling, and documentation, Mr. Kenneth Counts.
Well, Linda.
Well, Kenny?
As commented in the background a while ago, you seem more nervous today than normal, you know, because Linda used to get up and make speeches and talk in front of a lot of people, and she would always be smooth and no nervous, but she's sitting on her hands up here. I was noticing that, you know. Then on the way in, Ray and I was walking in, and of course Major Turnbull come down through there, and Ray yells out, "Yo, son," he yells back, "Hey, Dad." And of course Linda's dad turns around, and he's, like all dads do, he's ready to respond, so I apologize for that. we were goofing there. Anyway. This is my nephew. From the plans and scheduling, you know, Linda and I have been working together for a lot of years, and I could always expect a call when we got new leadership in. The new boss would be coming in, the new DCM at the time, or the new LG, and now it's the new MXG. But when the new person would come on board, I could always expect that phone call, because Linda would try to prod me to see, okay, is he really into numbers? Is he into the analysis part of it, so she could get herself prepared to support the group as she always did. But from plans and scheduling, the many times that we have asked you for help, you know, whether it be one of our award packages or whatever, to get some additional information to make the supporting the paragraphs that's in there, you know, you've always provided that help for us. And so I just know with you retiring, it's closer to my date, so anyway, from plans and scheduling, just something small that we wanted to give you. There's a card there that they all signed, and enjoy. You're sitting by TV and having a drink of whatever, you can think of it.
Very nice.
Plans and scheduling, folks.
Thank you, plans and scheduling, folks.
Representing Maintenance Data Systems Analysis, Linda's section, is Tech Sergeant Todd Lacey.
Got another presentation before you, Steve.
Thank you.
As you all know, or may not know, Mrs. Oscar, she's been leading this section for many, many years. I came here in about a little over 3 years ago, and been learning from Ms. Pizauskas ever since. She's been an inspiration, and she's put forth so much effort and so much just stamina and constant driving, making things happen. So just want to thank you for your leadership and your guidance. And on behalf of the analysis section, I present you with this.
Representing the Maintenance Operations Flight and presenting the maintenance professional, Captain Gary Hunsinger.
Maintenance woman with that. Linda, I've had the opportunity and the honor to work with Linda for quite a while. I got here in '9, and one of the first folks I met coming into, at the time, LSS was Linda. And the support, the dedication that you've given, not only to the squadrons, the group, and all the way up to AMC has just been phenomenal. And appreciate all the times I've knocked on your door and sat down and had questions on the numbers and what can we do with this or that. But let me just read this real quick. It says, from the men and women of the 305th MOS, thank you for your dedication and service. May you enjoy a happy and blessed retirement. And the date's to and from right there.
I really appreciate this because analysis troops didn't always wear the maintenance badge. And it was in the late 80s, and analysis was finally authorized to wear the maintenance badge. So at that time, from that point forward, we always felt that we were really part of the maintenance team. So this is why I really appreciate getting this. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, Maintenance Operations Squadron's Commander, Major Eric Turnbull.
Morning. I was very happy that Linda's retirement ceremony was after I took command. When I got here last summer, I sat down and talked with her, and the first thing that really struck me about her was her passion and her dedication to her career field, her profession. And a lot's changed over the last, several 20 plus 30 years that you've really been in the business. But throughout all those changes, as technology changed and whatnot, the one thing that always stayed the same was her dedication to customer support. Every time I would need something from her, I would call her up, and almost immediately she would provide me the information I needed. And that was really wonderful, and it really helped me in my job. And I think that was really probably one of your greatest strengths, is the support you gave to the customer. And I honestly believe that whoever came up with the MOS motto of strength through support was thinking about Linda when they devised that, because that really just tells it all about her. We got you this. This is a non-standard gift, because our standard MOS gift, a plaque, but you're not a standard person. You're above the standard, so we wanted to get you something a little bit special. So we got you a plaque, which is, of course, a map in New Jersey, and it says, presented to Ms. Linda Pazaskas, Chief of Maintenance Analysis, always mission capable. And for the family members that aren't familiar with that term, mission capable, that's our main metric in maintenance that we look to accomplish our mission, mission capable. And you always were. You always got the job done for us. And so thank you very much for all you've done. Best of luck to you in retirement. We're going to miss you around here, Linda.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the maintenance group, Colonel Harvey.
Could you speak one more time? Now, this really shows that you're part of maintenance. With the female maintenance, that kind of reminds me of, I know you were interested in the history of women in the military. I'll give you a test question. Who was the first woman in aviation?
Like in the military?
I bet our base historian doesn't even know either. It took place in 1804. 1804.
Napoleon appointed Madame Blanchard
as
the chief of his balloon fleet. See? All these little things. You didn't know about the Our Lady of Victory?
No,
and,
I
now
honestly
you know,
no, I
now you
didn't.
learn a little bit about the first female in aviation.
Thank you.
You're a wealth of information, Colonel.
It's an amazing thing. Well, tied in with that, because in 1969, when Linda did join the Air Force, there weren't that many women in the Air Force on active duty, and so it is a very significant thing. The percents have come up tremendously. I was trying to go back and find out what the percent of the force was at that time, but I couldn't come up with that information with the teams now. So significant increase in number of women in the Air Force, but you're one of those pioneers. And yes, maintenance analysis is part of maintenance, and I've always appreciated that. And you know, I am a numbers kind of guy, and depend on those numbers a lot. Again, thank you for your service. And I mean, nothing says much better being a maintenance person than getting a big wrench. And it says in here, many thanks from the men and women of the 305th Maintenance Group. Simple as that. So, thank you. And if people get out of hand, you can. I think now we turn it over to...
That's correct, sir. Lynn, the floor is yours.
Okay, you have to bear with me 1 minute. Stop the cameras. Okay, I'm sorry about that, folks, but when I came in, I was so overwhelmed by all the family and friends that I didn't have time to, like, set up my stuff, so. I did write a little speech, which I may not even need that much, but the first thing I wanted to do before I start, is just present something to a few people here in my family. Okay, first, Dad, I would like to give this to you. It's MOS Maintenance Operations Squadron. It's really nice. And Mom, this is for you. And I know, because I know Rose is your favorite. And my 2 daughters. And Susan. Okay, I just have to say, wow. Thanks for the wonderful send-off, and I never expected so many folks to come. I really appreciate it. I know there's so many thanks in order, and I apologize if I leave anybody out, but I know all the folks in my shop helped with this, Master Sergeant Horswell and the Ruiz, Mr. Rice, there he is. He was instrumental in getting things going for this. And I know I have left somebody out, haven't I? I'm sorry, but thank you for all who were involved. Before I go any further, I would like to thank God for giving me the ability to sustain self-discipline to endure the challenges of working for the Air Force and the Department of Defense. And then next would be my parents for giving me the correct upbringing to get through this life in a successful way. Colonel Harvey, thanks so much for retiring me. And I know you've always been a staunch supporter for analysis, and I will never forget you. Thank you, sir. During my time in the 108 Tactical Fighter Wing, I did have many people. I was gonna say all the names, but there were many people who supported me there and helped me to excel. But with the audience that we have today, I just want to talk about you guys. So, Pat Burke, and I saw she's here, okay. Pat, I'm going to say she was my mentor back in the early 80s. I used to go over to the 438th analysis shop when I was still in the 108 because I needed to get up to speed in mimics and some other things in analysis. And she provided the help and training for me. And as we got to know each other, then she kept encouraging me, you know, if you want upward mobility, you need to leave the 108 and you can come over to the 514 and be the ARC. And then that was a GS9 position. And then, of course, I thought about it, and I just have to say, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even be standing here today. So I appreciate you, Pat, so much, and I never did forget you either. We lost touch a little bit, you know, but I just really appreciate it, you know, that you did that for me. And I know Colonel Neustadt, he was the 514 group commander at the time, but she was the driving force. So after that, the the person that I always remember was Colonel Handel, and he's the one who trusted me enough to run the analysis shop, and he hired me in 1989, and I'll never forget him either. He was just a super guy. After we became the 305th Air Mobility Wing in 1994, because we picked up the KC-10 aircraft, Colonel O'Brien was the person who restored my faith in how important analysis was for managers to make important decisions in the logistics and maintenance communities. And at that time, I know that, I think Major Turnbull, you mentioned something about my customer support and all that. Well, I got brainwashed by TQM, and I fell for it, and I know a lot of you people out there hated it, but it worked for me. It came at a time when I needed it. And it just, after I accepted, you know, the processes, and I just, you know, it just stuck with me. I mean, I always was customer oriented, but this even just, you know, made it go even further. So we had General Lorenz was here as the wing commander, and he came and visited our shop, and he said that analysis, we were the brains of the organization. And that's because we were the ones who had metrics that went right in to TQM, you know, total quality management. And we've had many fine group commanders, but I will be honest, I especially like the time when Colonel Dooley was here, 99 through early 2001, some 4 years. And Colonel Harvey was the deputy at the time. And the reason I have to mention this is because I always liked my job over the years, and there was always something interesting going on. But when you two were together, I couldn't wait to get to work every day because of their leadership. It was a fabulous time for me, and I'll never forget that. But it was both of you together, not just, you know, not just him, but somehow, you know, they really encouraged the team participation, and I loved it. And then I can't believe so many times I talked to Kenny Counts, and we've always been on the same page, or our opinions seem to be the same. And I always just started laughing when you said, because I have this in writing, but you said, and this is what I said about you, I see Kenny Counts in the audience, and he was always somebody I could talk to for advice on how to handle changes in management philosophy. And that's not how I worded it, but it meant the same thing. And so we always had a good relationship, and between his office, which is scheduling and analysis. As a matter of fact, at the 7 level, those two career fields now are supposed to merge. So we always had something very much in common, and we needed each other to do our job. So, and he made that happen. You know, I don't see Mary McLeod. She said she was coming, but I'm going to say something about her anyway. She was like a second mom to me, and my parents met her when they came down in 2001 or 2000 to visit McGuire. And but she always had advice about everything, and but I do consider her a close friend, and I did talk to her a couple of weeks ago, so I'm sure there's probably a good reason why she's not here. She said they were coming. I see Charlene, and she's a wonderful person. Did Carla make it? No, or Susan Ross Soto? Okay, well, you're all the same caliber type of people, just wonderful, easy to get along with, and so helpful. And I appreciate you, Charlene. I'm very, very glad that you can make it today. Thanks for being here. And I'm trying to look in the audience. I mean, I can just go right down the line. I know everyone's name. Major Hawkins, I see you. Oh, did you make Lieutenant Colonel yet? I can't see from this far. I can't see from this far.
It doesn't matter.
Thank you for coming, and he and I had a lot of good interaction over the past several months, and you know, it's very enjoyable doing business with you. I'll just thank you so much. I'm going to move on now to my sisters, And we have two brothers in the family too, but they're not here. So I'm just very, very happy that you could be here. We've always had so many good times together, and I know that will continue. And with all the great kids, you know, there's always some kind of family event going on. So, I mean, it's Anthony, there's Lauren, Charles, William, because now I'm getting nervous, I'm not reading my speech. I'm drawing a blank, no, I should, Anna, Margaret, we have three Margarets here today, my sister, my mom, and little Margaret, Teresa's daughter, and Angela. Yes, we can't leave out Angela. And I think I got all the kids. There's more, but these are the ones. And you all got a day off from school today, right? Yeah. All right. I want to thank my friends from St. Isaac Jogues Choir for being here. And that's a pretty good turnout. We have Pat and Joe, Jack, John, and Celeste. I'm sorry, Celeste. No, I know these people, and it's just because I'm not reading my speech. But anyway, okay. Now my involvement with the choir is definitely going to continue after retirement, and maybe even more so. And also want to try to get into some of the other ministries. And I know I had invited Father Flager. He's our pastor at St. Isaac Jogues, but his dad's having some more surgery today. So I did go to the 8 o'clock Mass, and he gave me a personal blessing, asked the Holy Spirit to come into me and all that. So it was a nice time. Now, I'm almost done, I promise, because I know some people go on and on, but I'm almost done. Okay, now we get to an important thing here. All the important people in my life, they, you know, I would express some concerns about some things, and my way of coping with issues started to change in the past couple of years. And they said, well, you know, that's normal, and you'll know when it's time to go. So that's what happened. All of a sudden, I just knew it was time to go. So, and plus, I'm eligible and can, you know, get my retirement benefits, so that's a good thing. As I pass the torch, I know analysis will be left in good hands until my position is filled. We have Master Sergeant Dave Horswell, who's really a scheduler, but he came over to fill the gap since I'm gone until my position is filled. We have Staff Sergeant Maria Alvarez. I think that she's probably downstairs. She's super. Senior Airman Erin Smith, she is just outstanding. And she is currently our dedicated analyst for our KC-10 aircraft, but she does everything. She's great. We have some new folks that just came in, and I can already tell they're going to be fabulous. We got Staff Sergeant Mundell, Staff Sergeant Parker, both GO81 managers, and Senior Airman Frank Puglisi is our C-17 dedicated analyst. And what that means, it means that they help out both the maintenance squadrons. There's a squadron for each weapon system, and they're right there, and whatever they need, you know, to help them measure, you know, performance on the aircraft. So they keep pretty busy doing that. And Senior Airman Puglisi is also the CAM's DBM for 510 units. Now, my shop has been undermanned for quite some time, so I'm very glad to see these new folks coming in. And AMC is sending 3 more to arrive between April and June. Now, at this point, I have to mention Tech Sergeant Todd Lacey, and he came up here and represented the shop, and that's because he was our NCOIC of analysis, but he got orders to Korea, so he'll be PCSing, and I think your final out is like Sunday, right? That's your final day at McGuire. So he was nice enough to come to my retirement, but I'm just going to say this, he was the most loyal, hardworking, and dedicated NCO I ever met. You never let me down, and I truly appreciate all your support. Now, I'm especially honored that my two daughters, Noreen and Susan, could be here today. They are the ones that had to miss Mommy a lot when I was attending to my work commitments. But they love me anyway, and I love them very, very much. I love you girls. Now, just thanks to everyone for attending, and I apologize again if I left anybody out, but hopefully I'll see you afterwards. I just have to say it's been a very interesting and sometimes very challenging career, but if I had to do it over again, I wouldn't have changed a thing. Thank you very much for coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the departure of the official party. And this concludes our ceremony. Please join us downstairs in room 101 for a receiving line to wish Linda farewell and for light refreshments. Thank you for attending.